even more special.
Well, it used to be just a derby about Manchester, two teams from Manchester, but I think now it's much more. I'd say it's almost global. It's a game that doesn't only mean a lot for people in Manchester, but also for people around the world that support City or Manchester United, and that's how you have to look at this game. But as a footballer, I think every footballer knows that there's nothing better than to play in derbies. If you win it, then you're on top of the world for whatever time that may be.
Is our referee. If this goes like previous Manchester derbies, he could well be a busy man.
We're at the top of the table now, so this derby is probably more important than most in the fact that whoever wins that will probably see it as first blood. So it's a derby we're very much looking forward to.
And it's the first corner of the game. Beautiful feet there from Silva to deceive two defenders, and he's still got possession. Amazing run there by Silva.
If you want to beat United, you should play very well.
Silva, lovely ball for Milner. And it's come to Balotelli! Why always me?
Would you like his t-shirt?
I didn't see what.
Why always me? Question.
Did you know, Gareth, that he had "Why Always Me" on as a t-shirt underneath his shirt? Was that a secret?
No, I personally didn't know, but a lot of the players I think knew about it in the build-up in the week. But no, I didn't have a clue what was going on.
We know United's a tough place to go. To win that, to get something there at United would be massive.
Hard time at Old Trafford. Possession might be 9/10 of the law, but not in football it isn't. United have enjoyed a great deal of the ball, but the one crucial strike on goal was delivered by Manchester City's Mario Balotelli.
We played well. I think that the first 25th minute United played better, but in that time they didn't have more chance to score. After that we scored. I think that we started to play better. In the second half, the game was changed.
How will the champions respond? Milner finds Balotelli onto Aguero. Balotelli gets through again.
He's fouled him. He's fouled him. There's a decision to make there from Mark Clattenburg.
Oh, it's red. Onto Milner. Silva. Good ball back to Silva. Anderson's got to be careful with him. Brilliantly done for Milner. Balotelli, ball post! Manchester City lead the champions by 2 goals to 0. Here's Balotelli on a hat-trick now, of course. Milner, Richards. It's 3. Aguero arrives to finish another flowing City move and finish off United in the process.
You've done this before. You played in 2008, didn't you? So this is like standard to win the Old Trafford.
No, the only standard thing is the horrible little goal I keep conceding. That keeps annoying me.
Hernandez back to Fletcher. What a brilliant goal that was!
Mancini just said don't go back. He said just like we wanted to get as much, because he kept saying goal difference is going to be important at the end of the season. Do you know what I mean? And like,
this is the game. This is the reason why we won the league. This.
Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
The goal difference. Like if we didn't have this, if this is 3-1, we don't win the league.
And it comes to Lescott and Dzeko. United are claiming offside, but the flag has stayed down. And Manchester United's miserable day is complete.
Yeah, time to pack up and go home, I think. For them though, they're going to make the most of this. See that often, do you?
one with United was the best in the season.
But that final goal is one of my favourite David Silva assists on the volley when he plays it through to Dzeko is outrageous.
Phenomenal pass.
Silva volleys it forward brilliantly and puts it on a plate for Dzeko again. It is six of the best for Manchester City. United not just beaten, humiliated.
Well, we've just seen one of the passes of the season so far, probably this season as a whole, from little David Silva.
Really, the belief started to grow in this game at Old Trafford, where you produced probably the best pass I've ever seen. I mean, that assist there, that pass, is that the best you've produced?
Bueno, yo creo que uno de ellos, porque he tenido la suerte de asistir mucho, pero mira, gracias ahí a Edin que marcó el gol, ¿no? Porque si no lo marca nadie se hubiera a lo mejor acordado del pase. Así que al final tú también dependes mucho de los delanteros, porque son los que tienen que finalizarlo. Pero Edin era un jugador, bueno, es un jugador magnífico que me encantaba jugar con él.
The noisy neighbours have taken over the whole street for the time being anyway. Top dogs in the Barclays Premier League, most certainly top dogs in the city of Manchester.
So what does it mean to come here and win 6-1?
It's good, but I think that it's not important 6-1. It's important that we beat a fantastic team.
How do you feel personally?
I feel disappointed, yeah. It's the worst defeat in my history, ever. Even as a player, I don't think I've ever lost a game 6-1 in my life.
You know, people call us the noisy neighbours, you know, and here we are. We've got a good set of lads now, and we want to show people what we can do, you know. And I think we did that today.
Welcome to Matchday Live. It is Derby Day here in the city of Manchester. My name is FG and it's with great pleasure to say I am joined by Big Steve. We will have exclusive team news from pitchside, fan reactions from inside Old Trafford. Big Steve, how are we feeling?
Yeah, the nerves are kicking in now, the atmosphere's building nice, the City end's filling up nicely over there, and yeah, come on City, can't wait.
Today's a day to be extremely proud to be a City fan, isn't it, Steve?
Unbelievable, first time we've ever come here, treble winners, champions of England. Let's get that noise going today and let's get the 3 points.
And actually, in the studio today, we've got a man who got fed on Derby Day, we've got an absolute legend in Steph Houghton who loves beating Manchester United, and a man who got an assist in the 6-1.
Yeah, 6-1, Joleon Lescott.
And we've also got a very special Natalie Pike who's going to introduce all of the guests properly. We will see you guys at Pitside soon.
Thank you so much to FG and to Big Steve who have braved the trip to Old Trafford. Welcome to Matchday Live. It is Derby Day, the 191st Manchester Derby. And I am indeed joined by our special guests today who know all about Manchester derbies. Shaun, Steph Houghton and assist master Joleon Lescott.
What about that? Assist master. Yeah.
I always forget, and then Derby Day comes round and then I always remember about that assist.
I know, yeah. People still questioning whether I meant it or not, but no, I meant it definitely. I scored enough goals to know whether I meant to pass or not. Yeah.
Well, we'll take the opportunity later as well to enjoy your Derby Day, my favourite goal of yours of all time, Shaun. Your Derby Day goal, of course, we will enjoy that later. How are you feeling?
Feeling good now that we're going to go through that.
Of course, we couldn't go a day without it, a Derby Day without seeing that goal. Of course, any opportunity to embarrass Gary Neville we'll all take.
Facts.
Steph, how are you feeling?
I'm excited. I think even watching the clips there, I think got a little bit of goosebumps. So yeah, I mean, we've been speaking behind us going, I just think City are going to perform so well today, and I just kind of want to see how well they do, really.
Oh, I'm glad that you two are here today. I need you both today. You let a gasp out when Steph said that.
Yeah, I'm not as confident as Steph because I just feel they need this type of game. I think they're not great, and they need to not have to be open and
have a free hit.
Yeah, they do. They want to. If we score first, I reckon it's done. Because then they have to open up and stuff. But in terms of the setup of their team, they're going to want to set up.
See, now
compact.
You're making me nervous, but I don't know. I think City have got too much quality in that team. Yeah.
Oh yeah, and we've got changes. We can make changes and stuff. I'm not nervous and think it's done, but I'm not as confident as Steph. Just all I'm saying.
I'm going to bring positivity to the room. I think. Yeah.
Nice, Steph.
Because I'm imagining you're quite nervous.
Yeah, Steph. You've watched enough games with me now, yeah. So I'm really glad you're here. Yeah. Especially glad absolute hype man's here. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling good. And we'll go into it.
We will indeed. We'll bring you the team news in around about 2 minutes. First place you can get your team news as always. And of course, the last time we played Manchester Derby, we picked up the FA Cup. Well, the FA Cup, the Super Cup, the Champions League and the Premier League trophies are currently taking a little trip to Norway. And accompanying them, it's of course the one and only Nedum Anua, the busiest man at Manchester City right now. And I think Nedum's going to join us now live from Norway. Easy day.
Hello. How's everyone?
We've got a mixture of nerves and positivity in the studio, Nedum. How about you?
To be honest, I lean more towards Joleon. I wish I could have Steph's just like positivity about it all and the belief and the confidence. But I'm anxious. Like, this is unfortunately the worst day of the season for me. Them going to Old Trafford, and even though you know they're better as a team, it's never a guarantee that the outcome will go that way, because City have been better for United for so many years. But it doesn't mean that they always win there. But hopefully, if things go well today, it can be a Sunday remember for a long time.
How is your trophy trip to Norway going?
Yeah, it's good. It's good. It's very lucky to go and see Bruyne, where Erling Haaland's from, and to talk about like local heroes. I mean, the guy's got multiple murals. I was in the Haaland suite. There's a picture of him like just in my room. Unfortunately, above my bed, so it was a bit creepy. But there were so many like young players there with the City shirts on, all with Haaland on the back. And representation and stuff matters, because they all dream of being able to do what he can do. And he's not just a good player. You know, this is a guy that's up for the Ballon d'Or award. So it's been amazing. We're in Oslo now. I think a few thousand people have seen the trophies, and a few of them have seen me, and they're talking about the good old days back when we used to score 10 goals at home for a whole season when I played.
Well, Nedum, thanks so much for being with us. You're going to stick around. We're going to come back to you in a bit, but we need to find out the team news. So we'll see you in a second. Right, it is time for the all-important team news. Oh gosh, I don't get really nervous at this point. Right, we're going to go back over to FG and we're going to find out City's starting 11 for today.
Yes, thank you, Natalie. Welcome back to Pitside at Old Trafford. It is time to reveal the Manchester City side to face Manchester United in the Manchester Derby. In goal is the ever-present Ederson. The captain today is Kyle Walker. And then we are joined by John Stones and Ruben Diaz. Great to see them back together. Josko Vardiol plays, as does Rodrigo, Bernardo Silva, Phil Foden, Jack Grealish, Julian Alvarez and Erling Haaland. The substitutes for Manchester City today: the keeper Stefan Ortega, Calvin Phillips, Nathan Ake, Mateo Kovacic, Jeremy Doku, Sergio Gomez, Mateus Nunes, Oscar Bob and Rico Lewis. Joining me back pitchside is Big Steve. We've seen the team. I feel a little bit better now.
Yeah, it's a great team. It's very strong. I don't think people knew whether Doku was going to start or maybe Foden was going to start. He's gone with Phil. Obviously, the last derby at the Etihad, Haaland and Foden stole the show. Hoping for a repeat today, but yeah, it's a strong lineup.
Of course, we always have to speak about Rodri in games like this, big games. We've had a couple of difficult trips on the road without him, Arsenal away in particular. It's super important to have this man in the team, and it gives the forward players a bit more freedom, doesn't it?
Yeah, Rodri, we've seen, without Rodri in the team, we're a different team. So, Old Trafford, the atmosphere is going to be ramped up here today. Rodri's got to be cool, calm, in that middle of the park and get City playing. I think once we get Rodri on the ball, I think the rest will follow.
And John Stones, Ruben Diaz, the lockdown blues will remember. It's great to see them back together. Do you think they're going to be in the back four together at centre-half?
I think so, yeah, but you might see John going into midfield. You might see that. Guardiola as well, playing on the left. It's a strong back four for me, that's really strong. We've got to dominate today. We're coming here the champions, I said it before. Man United are struggling a little bit. We've got to take advantage of that. If we can get into these early doors today, crank it up a notch, get that away end bouncing, then I think we'll have some joy.
Of course, we have to talk about Julian Alvarez as well, a man who went under the radar last year for everyone who didn't support Manchester City, because I think everyone watching around the world knows about Julian Alvarez, who's a City fan. But now the world of football is starting to notice him. He's a special talent, and we think he's going to play in midfield, where in that role just behind the striker, don't we?
Yeah, he's had a fantastic season, fantastic start to the season. Yeah, he deserves his place in the team, and he goes under the radar. But like you say, the world is starting to note now that what Julian Alvarez is about. Another one. He's a match winner. He can change a game. You know what I mean? He can shoot from anywhere, and no, he deserves his spot in the team. And I'm so glad that Pep's found a place for him in this squad.
And Bernardo Silva as well, a man that every City fan absolutely loves, us included. He is massive for big games like this. He gets really up for it on a big occasion. Do you think he's going to be side to side with Rodri today?
Yeah, I think we need the energy of Bernardo in the middle of the park. I think Bernardo always has a good game at Old Trafford for me. You know what I mean? He's turned up here a few times, but he sets the pace with his running and his pressing, and the others follow. And I think, just looking at the team, I think we're well balanced across the park, and the nerves have turned into a little bit of confidence. And come on, City.
We're feeling good now, Steve, aren't we?
Feeling good, mate. We're feeling good.
We're going to head back to the studio. We hope you guys are feeling good around the world watching the team news. Today is the day to be loud and proud for the treble winners. Come on, the Blues.
I love it. FG and Big Steve are getting us absolutely pumped up if we weren't already ahead of Derby Day. So that is your starting 11 for today. So, Joleon, straight off, let's have a look at the defence. What do you make of that back four? Of course, Akanji's out, so we knew that he wasn't going to be playing.
Yeah, strong. Again, it wouldn't have mattered who plays. The same kind of outcome in regards to the quality. I'm probably seeing Kyle, Ruben and Guardiola across the back three, and then Stones at certain times in instances in the games will step in and kind of support Rodri, and then maybe play a little bit further advanced as well. But yeah, normal procedure and set up for the back four.
I just love John Stones, Ruben Dias partnership. I'm so happy they're back together, Steph.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we've been waiting for John to get back, and it's nice to see him back in the team, and I'm a big fan of him, but along with Ruben Dias, and so in terms of a partnership, they work really well together. And like what Joleon said, you probably would see John going into midfield and getting control of the ball next to Rodri, and he does that really well. That's a big strength of his passing ability. But I think if you look at the defence, like what Joleon said, I think anyone that you pick, they're all very good 1v1 defenders. They work well together, and hopefully we don't see them defend so much. But I think for me, when that time's happening, they love defending, they take pride in keeping that clean sheet, and hopefully that does happen today.
Gvardiol's first Manchester derby today, Shaun. What's it like when a player comes into the team and they're perhaps not from England, so maybe they don't know the history of the derby, and it's their first derby? Do you think everyone will be sort of letting him know?
Well, we're talking about, international players, world-class players. I think it's very easy. He will know. He'll be very aware. I think before you come to the club, he would have seen, City play and demolish United in games before making that decision as well. He'll fully understand, so he'll be very aware. And again, he's a very experienced player when he plays for his national team. It's absolute quality. So I think it'll just be a normal. I don't think the players will be saying, hey, this is what a derby is, because at the end of the day, they just want to win every game.
Yes, they want to win every game, I agree. But for fans, we especially want to win the derby.
Yeah, of course, but he would have played in a derby, and in the greatest respect to City and United fans, like, this derby doesn't mean more to you than other derbies he's played in to their fans. Do you know what I mean? That's what I always say when people say, what's the biggest derby? I was like, in terms of the game, it was always Man City United, because the points meant so much to the outcome of the season. But in terms of the importance to the fans, there's no way this derby meant more to you than Wolves beating West Brom did to them. Do you know what I mean? So players playing derbies all the time and are aware how important it is to the fans.
Okay, good. That's what that's basically what we want to know. So that's great. That's good with me.
In saying that, though, when I played against United, it was the biggest ever derby. But no, Joleon's absolutely right. He's absolutely spot on. These players are experienced to cope with this.
Yes. In terms of looking further up the pitch today, obviously we've got Rodri, thank goodness me, he's back. And then looking at, so it's Phil starts and Jack starts, Bernardo. What do you make of those as a three, and what do you make about Doku being on the bench?
Again, not surprised by any player playing. Doku's been informed, but Jack has a more subscribed way of playing, a more subscribed style, so it's more not predictable, but in the way of the game, I see the game going out. I see it being more structured, where individual brilliance is what Doku's about, and I don't see the game being that at the start, so it makes sense to start Jack. I see Bernardo possibly on the right, and then Phil in the middle. I think Phil's been operating in the middle lately, and he's been impacting the games like hugely. So yeah, and then Alvarez to do what he does, and again, so important to the system. Like, so versatile. I think he surprised anyone the way he's adapted to every position he's played in and been so effective.
When I look at those three and putting Alvarez in there as well, Steph, one of the first things that kind of I think about is the insane work rate that is between them. You know, they're all four players that are just going to run for every ball for every second of the game. And a derby at Old Trafford, you feel like we're definitely going to need that.
Yeah, I think for me, I think that was probably one of the things that I looked at when the team was named. I think as a front five, including Haaland, I think in terms of pressing from the front and people that have got legs and bring energy and bring confidence to the side, that's the five players that you would want. And I think, talking about Jack, I think his game against young boys the other night, he showed his experience, he showed how he likes to play in the system, and you could see his confidence was building throughout the game. So I think for me, you look at the team overall, it's probably the most experienced team that Pep could have picked. And when it comes to derby days, no matter where you are in the league, it's obviously all about what happens in this 90 minutes. And I think with that team, the experience that they've got, I think, and the way that we like to play, I think it's probably is the perfect starting 11. And when the game does open up in the second half, when you've got the likes of Doku on the bench that can come on and use his pace, that is probably what Pep's thinking maybe, and when there's a little bit more space in behind to get at the fullbacks. But yeah, Alvarez, what a player, what a season he's been having, and he keeps improving every game. He always shows something a little bit different.
My player of the season so far, I think.
Yeah,
well, off the back of what Steph was saying in regards to Jack, I think it's a great decision by Pep to play Jack, because I think he probably would have been nervous about is he going to start due to the performances of Doku. And if he doesn't start, then you may affect his confidence a little bit more and thinking, well, now I'm number two. Where going into the derby, you pick your strongest team, and I think Doku won't necessarily be less confident because he's had good performances. So, and
maybe his expectations are a bit different, Doku, because he's come into the side, and I think you've seen when Jack's been given a chance and the trust's been shown by the manager, he does repair with performances. And I think sometimes as players you need a bit of a run of games, and I think that Wednesday game was perfect, even though he's probably thinking, okay, I'm thinking about the derby, but actually to play them 2 games in a row and defensively as well, I think we need him to be really good today, and I think that's what he gives the team on that left-hand side.
Yeah, and of course he scored at the Old Trafford derby last season
header,
as well. Yeah. Another question then about the derby and players knowing, because of course Jack will know all about the derby, you know, being here. Phil, obviously as a Manchester City fan, knows all about it. And I don't know if this is a silly question, but I feel like as a fan, I wonder, for those type of players, especially say for a Phil that supports City, does it give you extra desire in a derby?
Yeah. If you're a fan of the team, then definitely it has a bigger impact. And again, this is the only derby he's played in, so it's different for Phil. So it'd be definitely different for Phil than it would be for Jack. Not that he wants to win anymore, but I'm sure Phil's family of City fans, so it has that element to it as well, where obviously Jack playing in the Birmingham derby, that would have the same impact on him. But in terms of the understanding and the importance, he'll be fully aware that this is vital, because, like you said, the last one was 2-1 defeat at Old Trafford, but the last derby was FA Cup final. Like, so you're aware of the importance of a derby.
Well, talking about a man that supports Manchester City and that has played in a derby, Nedum's back. Nedum, when you played in a derby, did the fact that you were a City fan give you more desire?
Yeah, it did. But unfortunately, when I was playing in the derbies, it wasn't necessarily leaning City's way. So there were a lot of days where you were really hoping for a big result, but you ended up not getting any. But, you know, I think I beat them maybe 3 or 4 times, and every single one felt so special. I think when you, as Joleon was saying, if that's your derby, you do get a feel for it. You get an understanding of the city and what it means to represent one team or the other, to support one team or the other, the history behind it, and how much it matters. Because every time we lost a derby, like, I hated walking around during that next week. But then every time you won one, your chest is out. You're feeling so proud, and you know that you've gotten something over your rivals. So I think Phil will get that. I think it'll really motivate him. But then Phil's a winner anyway. But then this is the game that matters more than any other. And, you know, long may that be the case.
Yeah, Kyle Walker said in some of the pre-match build-up to this game that he wants the Manchester bragging rights. Is that something you felt then with what you're saying?
Yeah, I would say so. I think, especially being from the city, like, I've got so many friends here. You know, sometimes as a player from elsewhere, you come into the city and the people you know tend to be your teammates and some others. But, like, I went to school in Manchester. You know, I was raised in Manchester. You can very quickly see who represents who, what matters more to one than another. You know, every time United were winning something, City were getting laughed at. You know, we look at, say, iconic seasons, and City have an iconic one in '99, but so does that other side of Manchester. and they're very aware of like how big that was compared to say ours. So yeah, bragging rights really, really do matter. And as I say, it might not last for the longest time, but just think every time you beat them, it's great in that game. But know that every other week they're rooting against you. But to be fair, I'm always rooting against them as well.
Nadim, thank you so much. Stick with us. We'll see you very soon. So we are going to go... if you want to ask a question, WhatsApp. We have WhatsApp available to you. You can always ask... I was too eager to know what their team was there. You can ask our guests any questions that you would like. Use the WhatsApp number there, and I'll get through as many as I can. It's a jam-packed show, as you can imagine, but I will get through some of those questions, so get your WhatsApp questions in now. Right, we're going to go back over to Old Trafford now, where FG is going to bring us the Manchester United team news for today.
Yes, welcome back to Old Trafford. It is time for the Manchester United team news. The home side today, in goal is Onana, and then it is Victor Lindelof, Amrabat, Maguire, Bruno Fernandes the captain, Marcus Rashford, Rasmus Haaland, Christian Eriksen, Diego Dalot, Johnny Evans and Scott McTominay. The substitutes are on the screen for you. Joining me pitchside is Big Steve. You've seen the Manchester United team. Any surprises?
No, not really, no. They need this result, United, you know what I mean? They've put a strong team out there. Evans and Maguire at the back. Some people are going to be happy with that. Amrabat for the energy. It's a derby. Form goes out the window, we know that. Looking at their team, fully confident we're going to get the job done today.
How do you think they're going to set up against this Manchester City side? We've seen the side, we've seen a lot of things on social media as well. Everyone's very, very happy with it. Do you think they're going to sit behind and try and play on the counter-attack, which suits the United style at the minute, right?
Yeah, I think so. I think they'd be stupid not to. I think they're going to sit behind the ball. They're going to try and exploit City when we go forward. They've got Marcus Rashford, who's a great outlet with his pace. This is where Kyle Walker comes in. We've seen him play up against Mbappe, Vinicius Junior, people like that with pace. Not overly, but no, I can't see Man United. I think if Manchester United try and come and attack City, I think that plays into our hands, and I think we're getting behind them.
Now, Erling Haaland, a man who went on a horrendous 2-goal drought, according to the whole world of football, scored in the Champions League. He loves playing in big games. He's going up against potentially Johnny Evans and Harry Maguire. We need to get him the ball, don't we, Steve?
We do. I've been critical of City the last few weeks where we've not been putting enough balls into the box for him. I don't mean just throwing balls in willy-nilly. I just mean that we've got to, when we get a chance to cross it, let's get it in there. And with Johnny Evans and Maguire there, let's put them under a bit of pressure. Give Erling something to feed off. Let him have a bit of a fight with them and let them know that they've been in the game, you know what I mean? And I think they will do. Looking at Jack and Foden and Haaland, the front three is positive, and I can see us putting it on them today.
Let's talk about Jack Grealish. He'll look at that and he'll be really, really happy and really, really ready. And he'll be the one who'll be keeping the ball. He'll be controlling the tempo. And he had a great game midweek as well, didn't he?
He did. I thought he played really, really well at Young Boys. He's got to control the game like he did last season. Keep the ball. Drag men into the wide areas, open up space in the middle for people like Bernardo and Alvarez to go in. And Jack knows what he's doing now. He's a big part of the Manchester City team. But yeah, Grealish the other night on form, coming into the derby, scored here last year. Why not?
And Phil Foden as well, local boy, absolutely loves it.
I love it, mate. Phil Foden, local lad, hat-trick at the Etihad. Let's hope we can do it today.
And we've got some famous people in the studio as well, haven't we? They love Derby Day, all of them. You got any messages for anyone in the studio?
Joleon Lescott, he's top of the league. Feed the goal and he'll score.
Steph Houghton, you're a legend. Let's head back to the studio. That was the Manchester United team news.
Steph, have you got a song?
You know what? I have, but it's the worst song ever. No, I'm only joking. The fans are good. It's just super Steph. So yeah,
that's all right.
Maybe we can make one up. Yeah.
Yeah, we need a song for Steph to sing in the studio when we're introducing the others. So Manchester United make 3 changes from the team that beat FC Copenhagen on Tuesday night. Casemiro is still not in the squad. Apparently his ankle injury means that he's still unavailable. Lindelof and Evans come in place of Varane, which I think is really interesting, and Reguilon, and Eriksen replaces Anthony in midfield, who drops to the bench. So, I mean, immediately, if we're being honest, Steph, we look at that and a back two of Maguire and Evans. That makes me feel like it's like 5 years ago or something.
Yeah, I mean, it is rolling back the years with Johnny Evans, but I think. I think we've just had a bit of a discussion here whether they're going to play with maybe 5 at the back, with Amrabat as left wing back, maybe But what does that mean to Marcus Rashford? I think Wolves did really well against City in terms of playing that formation. So it does seem quite defensive. And I don't want to kind of tempt fate, but I think to have potentially 3 centre-halves as well, and to have Eriksen back in there instead of Anthony probably does maybe make us think that is going to be a little bit more defensive from Man United point of view.
Yeah, it's really interesting as well. I said there that Varane has dropped to the bench. He's not had a great season, I think it's fair to say. But if you are Raphael Varane, that's won everything going, and you're being replaced by Johnny Evans, what are you thinking?
No. Obviously, Raphael will know. I mean, Varane will know if he can play the 2 games in the week, and they needed to win the Copenhagen game, didn't they? They had to win that in order for the Champions League to have a real chance of going through. So that might be the bigger game for them, the more realistic game to win. I know to the fans it's going to be the derby, but he's broke down a lot. So can he feature twice in a week? But it shows you the state of Man United. In the greatest respect to Johnny Evans, who I do rate, and I don't think he's their worst defender, by the way. He wasn't signed to be playing in the derby. They shouldn't have been signing Johnny Evans at the start of the season to think we need him for the derby. And Maguire obviously hasn't been in the team, who's playing exceptionally well right now. But yeah, there's an opportunity here for City, and especially Haaland, and it'll be the first time he's faced them, no? Because again, I don't remember either of them playing against him last season. It was Varane and Martinez.
Yeah.
But Evans will have aggression to match sort of Haaland's physicality. But I think it's telling. I think it feels as though United will go with like 5 at the back, and it's weird because, you know, my thinking is United's at home. United surely ain't going to play a defensive game. If you play defensive, you sort of play into City's hands. Will United fans accept being defensive? But I think he's also in a position where he's a little bit under pressure, and I think he'll happily sort of take a draw in this game and go, you know what? I'll take a draw and be happy.
Or a comfortable loss. It can't be dramatic or disrespectful, because then it just derails kind of everything, confidence, and like Shaun said, then he could be under real pressure. If they lose 4-0, say for instance, the manager has to get questioned. It can't just be the players. It can't just be whatever's like the board. It can't just be all the other excuses.
When the majority of the players now are his players.
Yeah.
Whereas maybe when he kind of was there, it's kind of like, okay, might be the old manager's players, he's had time to work with them. So I do agree. I think it does seem as though it is quite defensive. That's what I'm looking at that team, and I'm thinking, are they trying to catch City on the counter-attack potentially? But hopefully not.
Yeah. Playing defensively, trying to catch us, hoping that Marcus Rashford.
I think with Rashford's and Haaland's speed as well. He's rapid.
It makes sense. Their approach definitely makes sense to me from a footballing point of view. Forget that you kind of bias to City. If I'm United, that's how I'm setting up, because, and this isn't United. This is anyone against Man City. This is like Wolves didn't do that. You know what I mean? Wolves weren't going, let's go and play the style that we've accustomed to and look great and hopefully get close. Because you can come unstuck and you can get embarrassed, so it makes sense for them. But like Shaun said, the fans are going to have to accept not being embarrassed.
The other thing I find interesting, just going back to City, is actually with Jack playing. I think what Jack does is he gives City control. Is different from Doku in terms of how he plays. So when he gets the ball, he draws across the opposition, he draws extra players, and he draws fouls. So when he's got the ball and he's rotating the ball back around, that creates either an advantage over the other side, but it also creates sort of patience. And when I think back to derby days in recent times, when we've really controlled the ball, controlled, high levels of possession, we've kept the crowd quiet. I'm trying to think, it may have been in 21 when I think City played them and totally controlled United at United. And I just thought, wow, it was like a gulf. And that's because tactically having the right players. And I think that's one of the reasons when I think of Jack playing as opposed to Doku. But we wait and see, because United fans will have to sort of be a little bit humble in this game and go well, perhaps it is our best chance is being defensive and playing counter-attack.
Yeah, and I think when you look at that Manchester United team, and again, and I say this without trying to be argumentative in any way, shape or form, you look at it, the 11, you think there's not one of them that makes our starting 11, in my humble opinion, which is always lovely.
That's never going to be the case, though, is it? That you're never going to pick one of their players.
No, I would say if Luke Shaw was fit, he would probably get on our bench.
So he's not going to play that team, you know what I mean? You're not going to play that team.
Would you leave a note?
Absolutely.
bench. Why? Is one of those Manchester United players getting in your City team?
He don't get on my bench. She don't get in my team.
No. I'm just saying you tried to be diplomatic there. We know we see.
I'm trying to be humble, but no, he's not making that sound. I love it though.
Is any Man United getting in any?
Not even an FPL team, no.
And that's why you're top of our league, Steph. Right, do you know what? We've got a game today. We haven't done a game in ages, and I feel like the team behind the scenes thought that we might need to lift a nervous energy in the studio. So we've got a game today, and we're going to have a little look at higher or lower for derby appearances, and it is starring our Matchday Live pundits and guests. So you're going to recognise a lot of these faces here, and what we're going to ask the three of you to do is decide if it's higher or lower for how many derby appearances. You're all in it. Are
we a team or are we individual?
Well, do you want to be a team?
You see, he's got a winner's mentality.
Right.
If you want to go it alone, that's fine.
We'll that couch versus...
It's us versus him.
Okay, that couch versus Joleon. Okay.
Wow. Yeah, that's it.
I think you say us.
I know the answers, so
exactly.
It would be
play to win.
Right, Paul Dickoff starts. Dickie played in 3 derbies, and I imagine he absolutely loved every single one of them.
Got more goals than appearances there. So I'm going to go higher.
Go higher or lower than Dickie? Do you know how many you played in?
I've played in more derbies than that.
Okay.
Yeah. I know that.
So
higher.
Yeah.
I'm going to go higher.
Higher.
I said, you're going higher after I've said it?
There's only one more.
Shaun, how many
I would have said more than that.
Yeah, bench a couple times, don't count.
That is a very young Keith Curl. Do you think Keith Curl's played in more or less than 4 derby games? There's thinking here. What are you thinking?
What do you think?
Okay, that couch is not letting you see them talking.
2 seasons. What are you gone with? Okay.
Now you've got it in my head now.
I went first. Yeah, exactly. I went first with the goat.
You said 2.
I said higher.
No, you copied our answer.
No, I said higher first.
He went first. Yeah, he went first.
Go on then, Shaun.
Right, what are you having?
We're going to go higher.
Joleon? Come on.
Lower.
Okay, Joleon's gone lower. That side's gone higher. It's higher.
Wow.
He played in 10. Wow.
You're not singing anymore.
Come on that side.
Go on.
David James played in more or less than 10 derbies.
I know this one.
Oh.
Joleon, what are you thinking? You
lower.
First?
I think.
Higher.
Derbies.
You say higher?
I'm saying lower.
You're saying lower. You try to blag me?
Go on.
We're going to say higher.
How long do you think David James was here for?
Yeah. It's lower
David
than
James
that.
Yes. Oh, so it's back equal.
Back at level.
Hold on, derbies. He's
Manchester derbies, not derbies in throughout his career.
I was thinking Liverpool derbies.
Oh, well,
come on, Shaun.
Oh, Shaun.
Man, really care.
Yeah.
Right, that, by the way, is a baby Nader Manure. How cute was a baby Nader Manure? Did he play in more or less than 4?
Yeah, he played more than 4.
I think he just said on the screen that when he tried to, and that he played in more.
Yes.
Yeah. I don't know.
6.
Yes,
okay, Joleon.
I can't go first, can I? Because then they're going to get the same.
That
So
side's
go on.
first. Okay.
Peace.
Oh.
Higher.
Come on.
Higher.
Joleon, do you know how many you played in?
We could say lower and embarrass it. Higher. Was saying higher.
He's
More
counting.
than 6, yeah? I don't think it was.
He's counting.
Very Shield, 6-1.
Okay.
Oh, this is close.
Okay.
Oh.
Oh, he's really counting here. He's not
we
sure.
know and he don't.
Nah, time's out.
He remembers that he assisted in one.
And I scored in one.
Okay. How many?
And an assist in another.
Higher or lower?
I'm going to say lower.
Lower.
I think it was lower, 5.
Joleon!
Leading yourself.
Yeah. That's how to count them, yeah.
You're not singing anymore.
Steph.
That side's taken over. Right, Steph.
You've got to guess first then.
Steph, yeah. Has Steph played
Steph
more or
played
less
more.
than 8?
She's been here forever. We're saying that they haven't had a team for that long,
They've
though,
been
have
a
they?
team for 4 years, haven't they? 5 years? 4, 5 years?
So what are you saying?
I'm not saying nothing. I'm not helping. I'm not being accused of helping. Joleon, you've got to
Lower.
go first.
You
Joleon,
read
you're lower.
That's a blank joke. You got the blank.
I'm going to say lower.
Steph?
I think it's lower, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
we're
Steph
getting
has
lower.
played in
Yeah.
6 Manchester
You got to hide your
derbies.
face better.
They're still one ahead. Okay,
No,
Colo.
they're not.
Yeah, they're one ahead of you.
How?
You got
You got yourself wrong.
Oh, yeah, true.
You've got to
Colo
go.
Torre.
You got to go first.
I
This is
know
getting
the
really
answer to Colo.
competitive in the studio, by the way.
This one's close.
I know the
Colo
answer to
Toure? Kolo Touré played in more or less than 6.
Yeah, I think so.
What?
We're going to go higher.
I'm going to say lower.
Okay, Kolo Touré's played in 4. Equal in the studio again.
He got banned.
You see another side to me now.
The eve of the fight of the game. That was a Rooney free overhead kick.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you've got 3 left. It's currently equal. You're moving on to Steve Howie, more or less than 4. Oh, this is a tough one.
Yeah.
I should have an either. Let's say
Howie.
4.
He's really focused. Okay.
You waiting on my answer?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. We're going to go lower.
Lower, Joleon?
I'm going to gamble here and say higher.
It's currently equal. That side!
Now you can do your celebration, Shaun.
Right, we've got 2. We've got to go quick. Shaun Wright Phillips.
Higher.
Higher. Right, it's all down.
Now I have to go opposite to these.
Right, so he's going to go opposite to you guys.
No, this is not Richard Dunn. I call him Zidane. And I think Zidane, I would say, more.
Okay, you're going to go lower than Joleon just so you can pull it back?
Yeah.
Okay, what's the answer?
But I reckon it's higher.
15. Oh, it's 15. It's the same. You didn't have a chance.
Well, I would have if I would have said the same.
Yeah, I didn't even know it was an option.
No, I didn't, to be fair.
So how do you feel?
Gutted.
Joleon is...
No place to lose.
Joleon is always gutted. Congratulations to Steph.
Thank you.
Shaun,
if you would have been a team.
Yes.
Yeah, but no, the fans don't want to watch.
We want to thank our fans for their support.
I don't want to thank that. No support.
Right, talking of fans around the world, we welcomed a new very little fan. I've got a wonderful story that we'd like to tell you about. And 2 City supporters from the Bangalore Official Supporters Club in India, Ram and Snena, were blessed with a baby boy earlier this year. Today is his first derby, and he has a wonderful, wonderful name. So he was born prematurely a few days before the Champions League final. He spent 45 days in intensive care fighting for his life. There he is. And you know what? They've given him a cracking name, and it's difficult to give a foreign name in India. In tradition, and because of their religion, they often stick religious or family names, but not this little boy. His name is Rodri. Welcome, little Rodri, to the Man City family and to your first Manchester derby. I love that.
Yeah, I like that.
That's cute.
Little Rodri.
That's awesome, that.
Yeah.
I love him with his little shirt as well. Well, it's not little enough, but... And do you know what? Little Rodri is
Sean's
smiling.
size, isn't it? That's Sean's size.
What, borrow one of Shaun and give it to Rodri?
That's too big,
Yeah.
Shawnee.
Probably a bit baggy on Sean, that.
A big congratulations to them all. Rodri's clearly a fighter already. Welcome to the Manchester City family. Right, and don't forget you can keep sending us in your WhatsApp questions if you would like to. We will try and get through some WhatsApp questions. Do I have any time? Let's have a look. Not really. We'll try and get to some... here's one quickly for you. Where would De Bruyne fit in this specific starting 11 if he was fit?
As well as he's played, I think he goes in ahead of Alvarez. I think it's the system just allows him to go into that position.
Okay. And by the way, I didn't say your name because your name on WhatsApp is a series of like letters and numbers and...
Cultures.
Cultures?
Maybe.
Say? Yes. What do you think? Would he go in instead of?
Well, I wouldn't say who goes out, but De Bruyne goes in.
Yeah.
On the fence as always, Shaun.
De Bruyne goes in.
It's such a tough one. I think because Alvarez this season, I don't know whether you can drop them, but you can't exactly not. I think maybe, I don't know, maybe Phil or Grealish, maybe, I don't know.
Oh, well, sadly, it's not a thing that we actually need to worry about today.
That's a great position to be in when De Bruyne gets back.
There's not a bad decision there, is there, really?
So after today, it will be Manchester City women who will next visit Old Trafford. I think that's the 19th of November, off the top of my head. Yeah. I think it is. We currently sit top of the table following an impressive start to the season. 19-year-old Kiara Keating has been nominated for the WSL Player of the Month. Lauren Hemp is up for Goal of the Month. And Gareth Taylor is nominated for Manager of the Month. Ooh, very, very nice that. Hey, is Gareth buzzing? Have you spoken to him, Shaun?
I'm sure he's buzzing. Gareth, I'm sure, will say, he would first of all thank the players for giving the hard work and effort if he was to win, and for the support. He'll thank the staff.
Specifically you.
No, I think he'll specifically say, well, Shaun, thanks. But yeah, listen, I think we have a great team, and Gareth knows that, and he'll just say to everybody, you know, continue doing a great job, continue to play the part. That's from everybody, from whether it's nutritionists to sports science, because the amount of work that goes in to make sure players are at their peak is absolutely immense. And I could embarrass her, because even like when it comes to doing running, like Steph as an example, it's like her stats are just up there, which is amazing. But that's also her taking interest and knowing that she wants to perform well in terms of whatever sessions she's doing. But Gareth will say, you know, to everybody, you know, keep going. It's just a good start.
I saw you running on your Instagram. Have you joined a running club?
No, because we've been off international break, which is probably one of my first ones off for a while. I think still trying to keep ticking over, ready for next week. But yeah, I mean, them, especially Kiara, I think in terms of the start of the season that she's had, to be able to grab that #1 jersey and perform how she's performed at the age of 19. And if you know Kiara away from the pitch, she's an unbelievable girl, so funny, absolutely crazy and mental, and great for the group. But I think we all spoke about, we wanted a really good start of the season, and it couldn't have got any more perfect, to be honest, probably barring the Chelsea game. But I think maybe last year, when it gets that Chelsea game, you've got maybe one player sent off, maybe would have crumbled and maybe not getting a draw. So that shows the mentality of the girls. But yeah, there's a lot of hard work gone in over pre-season, the start of the season, and the group of girls and staff that we've got are really good. So hopefully we can kick on after this international break.
I'm still raging about that Chelsea game, Steph.
Yeah, crazy.
I feel like we should, yeah.
Sitting on that bench and wondering what was happening. I think, it's not a good position to be in. But look, I think use it as motivation towards the end of the season. I think, yeah.
I like that. And obviously, talking about these nominations, it gives us an opportunity to look at Lauren's goal again. Mm-hmm. So this is Lauren versus West Ham. This is up for goal of the month. Let's have a little. I like this angle as well. We'll get a cracking view of it from this angle as well. Oh, there we go. Shaun, that's a finish. You'd have that, wouldn't you?
Yes, I would. I didn't think I actually scored outside the box.
Yes, that's far for sure.
So she's already ahead of me. Yeah, brilliant finish. I mean, we tend to do little bits of extra finishing, you know, after training. But what was really beautiful about that goal is the patience. We talk about having patience when we're in the final third, and not just racing, but moving the ball to move the opposition to then create good situations like that, and you know, Hemp has seen it and delivered it.
So Gareth Taylor, Kiara Keating, Lauren Hemp, all up for awards this month. You can vote. Blues, this is time. Rally together. Now, do it. You need to get onto the Manchester City website or app, and there's a link to there to how you can go on and vote. So it's been an incredible start to the season for the women's team. Let's give them a little bit of, gratitude from us all. Get on and get voting for them. And you've only got until tomorrow at 10 a.m, so you actually do need to go and do it now. So go and get voted for Gareth Taylor, Kiara Keating, and to Lauren Hemp as well. So we are less than half an hour away from today's Manchester derby, a 3:30 kickoff here in the UK. Oh, my belly jumps whenever I say that. But it gives us a chance to reminisce and chat about some of our favourite derby moments over the year, which immediately means, Shaun, we can watch you embarrassing Gary Neville. Hurrah! Is that your favourite derby day moment?
Well, it is, alongside Joleon's assist and goals that he scored. It is, without shadow of a doubt. Yeah, it was a great time. United at the time were probably doing what we are currently doing in terms of dominating the Premier League and the football and winning trophies. So it was one of those where we would have been very pleased to just come away with a draw, but we wanted to give the fans some sort of last send-off in terms of being at Main Road, and well, we had to all perform to our best.
Oh, what a day. What a day. I was there. I remember it like yesterday. Can we see it? Do you think we can have a little look at Shaun go to scoring in the derby?
Yes, let's do that, please.
There we go, Shaun. So why don't you give us your personal commentary?
Well, this is how I was fed back then. Well, as they say, the silly boy should know for sure, feed the goat, and I will score. Listen, he's a quality commentator. He's an absolutely brilliant defender. And he knew if he had to do that all again, he'd have done several things, but he would not have done what he done. And that was really a bit Mickey-taken in terms of he could have played it out for a throw-in.
What was the score then, Shaun? Were they winning comfortably or something?
This made it, I should know this, innit?
Make it 3?
That made it 2-1. Because it was 3-1.
That's why it's surprising me. Because
scored another one after was actually a beautiful one.
Because I'm thinking if they're like 3-0 up, you're thinking you take that chance. But the fact that the game's so tight, why take that risk? You know what I mean?
And I think that's how they thought at the time. It's like, well, we were a team that we were up, we were down, sort of thing, and for them it wasn't a derby, but for us it was a derby. It was about trying to, make sure we give our fans something. That's the goal that just keeps on giving. So thank you, Gary, for that assist.
And it was, like you say, it was the last derby at Main Road, and I still remember it was electric. It meant a lot. And I've told you this many, many times, and you always mock me, Joleon, but I have a painting of you scoring that goal in my downstairs toilet. I love it.
There you go, eh?
No.
Just get rid of the stress.
Move on.
They're all laughing at him,
It occurs to me, I've never brought it in. I need to bring it in, Shaun, and get you to properly sign it. It's a lovely painting. You can see Barthez looking shocked in the background.
You can say something else.
Producer saying, we'll get one in the toilet there too.
So that was one of my favourite derby moments. The 6-1, obviously, the one that you got the assist in, there was many moments in that game. Do you have a standout, apart from your own, moment, assist, goal?
Not them. To be fair, like from a defensive point of view, you remember them aspects of the game. So there was one incident when I think it might have been 2-1, and Danny Welbeck was like, I was defending Danny Welbeck in the box. It was like a big space, and it was like 1v1 for a bit, and it was like probably about 7-8 seconds, which is a long time in football, and I come away with the ball then. So that was probably the moment I remember thinking, that means a good game to me. I know the 6-1 and the assist looks great on paper, but from a defender, you're thinking, well, how are you defending and how are you impacting the game that way?
Moments like that change the game as well.
Yeah.
You know that, like you say, you got that moment where you're defending. For the attacker, they're thinking, this is what I want. This is the money time to produce it. You come out winning that. The crowd, they get up on that. So there's a big moments in games when you're talking about from a defender or attacker situation.
I was at that game as well. I've been so blessed to have been at so many of these incredible games. And I think for most fans that watched that game, there was some incredible moments in that game. But David Silva's assist for Edin Dzeko to make it 6-1. Oh, Joleon, could you give us a bit of thought on this?
I don't know what's better, the touch or the pass.
I know.
Like
the touch to set up.
That is. You only try that in training if you are high level. Like I would never try that in training. That would have been brought down, bounced a couple of times, let it settle on the floor, and then play the simple pass. That isn't because it's 5-1 either. That's David Silva's because he's
David Silva.
Yeah.
Good players always make it look as though he's got loads of time.
Yeah.
Like if that's us, you're thinking, oh my God, you probably need to just get rid of it straight away. But the pass is unbelievable. As a defender, you can't do anything about that when it's going straight
between two players, like clean. He didn't have to change stride. He took a touches in the box, and it's like, there's only a limited number of players that can have that technique, and he was one.
And seeing the half-empty stands in the background, Shaun, always makes it a bit more special for me. Obviously, in that game as well, there was another moment that people remember, a certain shirt-lifting moment from Mr. Balotelli. Why always me? Do you remember seeing that at the time, and thinking, Mario?
I thought this is so typical of him. I thought it's absolutely brilliant. The finish, and everything is just so sweet. The fact that he's pre-thought that. And that's when you're in a place.
That was Chappie.
Chappie that printed.
That was Chappie, all that. So he wasn't aware of what was coming. So Chappie thought of all that, and Chappie even told him, when you score, don't take your shirt off, because if you take your shirt off, you get booked.
Yeah.
Where if you just do that, you don't get booked. So Chappie kind of orchestrated all of that.
So did you all know that he had that on his top?
No. And he hadn't wore that before. That was literally that day.
What did you think then when he lifted his top?
I just thought it's Mario. The thing that exactly what we think now is that is what Mario does, and it warrants him doing that because only he could score the day he wears that top.
It's interesting because I used to think of like a celebration if I was playing a team, and I thought, what celebration I do that will irritate the fans and stuff. And I so thought that was him in terms of like, I thought it was so fitting, you know, because he had an arrogance about him, he had quality, and I just thought, this is
I
beautiful.
think it was to do with the story around the fireworks that come out maybe that weekend. So Chappie had printed it up there, and that was the time when we were getting papped like every day in training and stuff. So yeah, it was Chappie was a massive influence on that.
Oh, Mario. Oh, Mario. There's so many other incredible Derby Day moments. You will all have your favourite, I'm sure. But we're going to go back over to Old Trafford. We're going to hear from Hardcore Blues, FG and Big Steve about their favourite Derby Day moments.
Yes, welcome back to Pitchside here at Old Trafford. It is time to go back down memory lane with Big Steve. We're going to talk about our favourite Derby Day memories now. Yes, welcome back to Pitchside here at Old Trafford. It is time to go back down memory lane with Big Steve. We're going to talk about our favourite Derby Day memories now. Luckily, in recent times, we've had a few, but there is one that stands out that we have to mention, which was before all the glamour, but it was a man who's an absolute legend, and it was at Main Road, wasn't it, Steve?
Yeah, last derby at Main Road. More famous for Gary Neville feeding the goal. 3-1, fantastic day. Never thought I'd see us win there, you know what I mean? The time was closing, but Shaun goal, brilliant, and the way he done it, fantastic.
Feed the goal and he will score. Next up, we've gone with a special derby where Manchester City and Manchester United honoured the members of the Munich air disaster. It was a special day. It was amazing by both sets of supporters, showing respect, and rightly so. But it was Man City who took the spoils, and it was that man Benjani with the whole... which we will never forget. Special day, wasn't it?
Very emotional day, very emotional day. Both sets of fans held scarves up before the game. It was fantastic. And then City, we wasn't the favourites. We came here fearing the worst, and we got the job done. Darius Vassell, Benjani, and it was a famous derby victory for City. That
it was. And then it was a trip to Wembley that we've picked out. You'll have to let us know on the WhatsApp questions if we've missed any on the way. But it was that derby that got us over the line. There used to be a banner here. For some reason, there's no banner anymore with how many years, but every year that used to haunt me. Every year. What happened then?
Somebody nearly took you out.
Was it Sergio Gomez or Edison? Right, well, I'll take it. But anyway, yeah, there was a banner up, and we had to win that Manchester derby at Wembley. There was a red card for Paul Scholes, and that man Yaya Toure.
Yeah, Yaya Toure. A lot of iconic moments for Yaya, but he just burst through, slipped it under the keeper's legs, and them City fans at Wembley that day thoroughly enjoyed that, and then it took us on to the final and we won it.
It did indeed. And then we were sat in the away end for the next derby we're going to talk about, the derby that no one should ever forget.
Never.
And it wasn't 1, it wasn't 2, it wasn't 3, it wasn't 4, it wasn't 5.
No.
How many was it, Steve?
6.
It was 6. Here at Old Trafford, Joleon Lescott was there. We saw the assist, Joleon, we absolutely loved it. Special day for every City fan.
Yeah, both teams went into that game. I think they were undefeated, and it was like which team's going to come out on top. And City absolutely dominated the game. The Balotelli moment, why always me? Aguero and David Silva. The pass at the end for the 6th goal for Dzeko will always be remembered.
And Vincent Kompany's banging header at the Etihad in the game. That meant so much to us, which led to such a special moment for this football club. But it's a good time to be a City fan, isn't it?
It is. We got the FA Cup final. Hated, adored, till Gundogan scored, all that, you know what I mean? So yeah, there's loads of memories and fantastic.
Funnily enough, we've only got 12 seconds left, so we better head back to the studio.
You can do a lot in 12 seconds.
I've enjoyed speaking about that. Let's head back to the studio.
Oh, thank you so much to FG and to Big Steve there. I love all of those moments. But do you know what? We should have just done an entire hour show just going back over those favourite derby moments. Thank you for sending all your WhatsApp questions in. Shout out to Team Telford, who would like you to know, Shaun, that they have a picture of you, but it's not in their toilet. So they put lots of love hearts and say lots of love from Team Telford.
Ah, beautiful. Welcoming in the house, that's it. And the toilet.
We've got a lovely question from Lucas Shelby. He's chairman of the Citizens Brazil Official Supporters Club. Thank you for joining us all the way from Brazil, Lucas. And he says, Steph, how does it feel to put the shirt on, to walk out onto the pitch and to feel the atmosphere on Derby Day?
my first ever derby was when we played United at the Etihad. And that was when United got promoted into the league. And I think, obviously, I've seen all them games that we've been speaking about, and you're in Manchester, and we've never really had that chance to have that derby. But when it comes around, honestly, I think, when you speak about bragging rights and stuff, I'm like, we cannot not win this game. Like, it's just, you have such a different feeling of when you're leaving the team out, and obviously there was 40,000 people there, which is the first time that we'd had that many people, and you're like, right, okay, we have to make sure that Manchester is blue. And I think you do have that nerve, but you have an amazing amount of pride as well when you're leading the team out and you win 1-0. Always makes it that little bit sweeter when all your family are there, and you've been here for nearly 10 years now. It just has to be a Manchester City win, no matter what.
Was that when Caroline Weir scored from
and it was an absolute worldie.
Yeah, same thing as well. The home.
Yeah, she chipped Mary Earps twice, and you think, and just staying, you go, honestly, like Kaz was one of them players that would always score good goals, but that one, and at the right time as well, scored about 70 minutes. It was like, that was the perfect time just to kind of just let the game go and just win. But yeah, amazing feeling, amazing memory.
Love that question. Thank you so much for sending that question to us all the way from Brazil. It is Halloween on Tuesday, and we've had a question from Daryl who would like to know, what are your favourite Halloween horror films? See, you can ask the guests anything. It doesn't just need to be football related. Halloween films.
I like the Purges,
Oh, I do.
I like the Purges. I like the concept of the Purge. Did you see in America? One of the states, they did it as well. One of the states,
I think I can watch them types of films.
They put it out there like they was going to do it. Yeah, the Purge. Yeah, Google that. His name Daryl.
Yeah.
Google that, Daryl. Google that. If the Purge is real in America.
Hocus Pocus of Halloween film. I'll say Hocus Pocus.
I like that.
Yeah.
My 6-year-old loves that, so you can.
I mean, I'd watch it again. That's absolutely fine.
Last year, he had me watch it every day for about a month.
There's a new one.
Hocus Pocus 2.
Yeah, but it's.
I might have to watch that after this.
But there's a new one.
Julian's like a film buff.
Yeah,
like a film
I
critic.
know about films.
Yeah, he's so into it.
Yeah.
I'd have to say, horror is not something I really get into and watch. But I have to say, I do remember watching that. Yeah. Where it was just chaos.
The Purge.
But I'm not one to look at horrors.
Okay.
I'll probably go look at the derby, the 6-1 win we had.
That's the horror for them.
Yeah.
For them.
It is horror for them. Yes. Yeah.
I like Saw. I've not seen the new Saw.
Good. I haven't seen the new one.
Yeah.
Well, I like to get scared. If I'm watching it, I want to be scared. That's the reason. Like, if you're watching a comedy, you want to laugh.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I watch horrors for that reason.
I bet Shaun just watches comedies, 24/7 comedies in Shaun's house. I can imagine that.
Romantic comedies.
Yes. If you're just joining us, we are 10 minutes away from the Manchester derby today. Little recap of the starting 11 for City. Of course, it's on your screen. Ederson, Walker, Stones, Diaz, Gvardiol, Rodri, Bernardo Silva, Foden, Grealish, Alvarez and Erling Haaland. So that is your starting 11 for today's Manchester derby, the 191st Manchester derby. We have about 10 minutes. Don't forget, you'll get full match commentary on the Manchester City app with Alistair Mann and with Andy Morrison. Oh, I bet Andy loved a Manchester derby. Oh, I bet he loved it. You know, I always say this, I love this show because it almost, even though we're talking about it, I forget that we're 9 minutes away from the derby. And we get to this point and my stomach's really started to go, Joleon. Give us your kind of final thoughts. What sort of game are you expecting?
My thoughts haven't changed. I think it's going to be possession-based for us. They're going to sit a little bit deeper, whether they want to or have to. That's going to be irrelevant. And they're going to try and hit us on a counter. But I'm confident we win 2-1.
No score predictions yet. No score predictions
sorry.
yet. No score predictions
You
yet.
didn't say that.
We're going to build that up. Okay, but you're confident we're going to win?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Steph, how are you feeling?
Yeah, I'm pretty confident, I think, especially, I'm going to just say I think that'll be 3-0 City.
Oh, we're just going. We're going
rogue.
We're going rogue.
But I do think, I don't think it'll be, I think the first 20 minutes it'll be quite cagey for both teams. I think with the team that United have, but also with our team, we do like to get control, and it's not about, hopefully we do score early, but I think it will be quite tight with it being a derby, and I think hopefully with the more possession that we do have, it hopefully will open up and we can get a few more goals.
Shaun?
Yeah, I'm not giving my prediction yet.
Okay.
Well done, Shaun. Buffing.
I agree with Joleon and Steph as well, but I think that United in the way they play. What I think what City does really great, or what Pep does, his ability to allow us to play the way we play, but adjusting to how the opposition, so we can sort of capitalize on their weaknesses. And so this is going to be interesting if they're playing a 5 at the back, 3 in midfield, how we maneuver the ball and take up spaces and take advantage. So
go on, give us your prediction. Go on.
Well, I'm going 2-0 City.
Love it. I'm going 6-1. Why not? Let's recreate it. Right, let's go back over to FG and to Big Steve. They are pitchside. They're going to give us their score predictions now.
Yes, thank you. Welcome back to pitchside here at Old Trafford. The players are behind us. They're warming up. They're doing their pre-match stuff. Big Steve, how are we feeling?
Yeah, it's getting close now. City End just been singing there, getting everybody going and that. And yeah, I'm ready for the match now.
The atmosphere in the City End, in the concourse, we had a bit of a moment to go in there. They are the best fans in the world, aren't they?
It's brilliant. It's lively. It's Derby Day. Everybody's loud and proud today. Yeah, it's fantastic.
Now, looking behind us, you can probably see the players behind us. On the far end, we saw Phil Foden, we saw Rodri, we saw Bernardo. And you know what I liked about it? They just had that look. Game day, game face. Just lovely to see, isn't it?
No, it's brilliant. Yeah, looking at them here, they all look relaxed. And yeah, I just want it just seems to be dragging on. We just want the game to start now, you know what I mean? Looking at the players warming up now, even Pep came out and shook your hand.
Yeah, Pep Guardiola shook my hand. So life's complete. Never going to wash my hand ever again. It was almost like I was literally felt that way when Joleon and Lescott first shook my hand as well.
Yeah, well, similar stature.
And then the GOAT, and then Steph Houghton.
Yeah,
you know what? Even Natalie Pike in the studio. But yeah, let's talk match again. Predictions. What are you thinking?
Listen, I'm a Manchester lad. I'm a City fan through and through. I'm ready for a 3-1 sitter.
It would be absolutely amazing if that happened. And it brings back so many scenes when we were looking at the away and we were just reminiscing a couple of minutes before about the 6-1, where we were both sat, the atmosphere. You look at that away and imagine being a player.
That's what we
score and just looking up at that sea of blue, because it is a sea of blue.
Big Steve's got grass stains on his knees. I've just slid in the corner.
Well, if you see Big Steve sliding in the corner, we'll all be doing it, hopefully at full time. Let's head back to the studio. From us before the game, that is all, and hopefully we will see you post-match as well. But let's head back to the studio.
Thank you, FG. Love that, Big Steve. Natalie Pike is getting nervous ahead of the game now. Like 1 minute or so to go. How's your nerves?
Fine, the same. The same as before.
Oh, the teams are coming out.
Yeah, well, I think we're going to win, so I'm calm.
He's calm. The teams are coming out. They've caught us. Right. We'll go over now to Alistair Mann and to Andy Morrison. Full match commentary on the Manchester City app. Come on, Blues. It's Derby Day. Let's do this. We'll see you at half-time.
And so, for the 191st time, City meet United in one of the oldest local derbies in football. A fixture dating back to the 19th century. It's become a match that has reverberated way outside the